G'day everyone, how we going? Matsy here, and we're out on another little bloody adventure. We're out here for 3 nights. We're in the Tasman National Park down on the peninsula here in Tasmania. We're gonna basically make our way out today to a campground towards the coast, and then tomorrow we'll punch out and we're gonna go take a look at Tasman Island Lighthouse. It looks really bloody scenic. It's actually the highest sea cliffs in the southern hemisphere, and the island just juts straight up out of the water, and it's really impressive. And I'll tell you more about how they actually managed to get the materials up to build the lighthouse in the first place. It's pretty insane. And the following day, we've got this beautiful coastal hike, and we'll finish up at a place called Fortescue Bay. I've actually been there before. Grace and I went camping there for a few nights, and it's bloody beautiful. So it'll be awesome to finish up the hike there, see the wallabies, and probably have a dip in the ocean. Anyway, today is mostly just a trek through this beautiful forest till we get to the campground. Not too big a day. And if we're lucky enough, we might actually see an echidna. So the track that we're on now is the old Cape Pillar track, which takes you through the bush. And I've just started the Garmin to see how far this track actually is. Having a look at the map, it doesn't look like it'd be any more than 10 k's, I don't think. Just had our first snake slither off into there, and it was black, so almost certain it'd probably be a tiger snake. So some of you are probably familiar, as a lot of people are, with the Three Capes track. You would have at least heard of it. It's sort of a paid for hiking, cabin, all round outdoor experience. Essentially what they do is you jump on a boat, you go over, you hop onto the peninsula here. I think the boat's just to jazz it up a bit, because I don't see why you couldn't just start it down there and do a different circuit. Anyway, and you've got a guide. It would be pretty interesting, like they would give you more information on the area. And then basically you get to these cabins. And I think you stay at 3 in total, and we're gonna end up on the track that they stay at. And Grace tells me you walk straight through one of the resorts, which seems weird. I was like, what, like around the front of it or the back of it? She's like, no, through it. I'm like, I can't picture this. So I guess we'll find out. It's sort of a luxury experience. I think it costs about $500 or $600 per adult, and it's still about $400 or $500 per child. I'd rather just sleep in a tent and actually be close to nature for the full experience, but each to their own. Oh yeah, here we go. My old friend the mud. But I'm warm and dry. It's not feeling like I'm in the middle of Alaska. Already getting a lot of the flowers coming out with spring, only a week in. So pretty. The gateway to paradise. Let's go. I like being in these little patches of open forest. Really pleasant. There's not much wind. There's like a slight breeze every now and again. All the birds are singing. Just what I needed. Just what the doctor ordered. I'm almost certain I've just heard an echidna just sort of bashing around out there. They make a pretty distinct sort of rustling sound when they're moving around, waddling around, looking for food. But he's too far out there and he hasn't moved in a little while, so we'll keep walking. Just saw snake number 2 slither off the track. I wasn't sure which way I was going to do this circuit, and I'm glad I decided to go up the old pillar track, because this one you can go out and back and walk in either direction. But the one that it links up with and it sort of intersects is the Three Capes track. And that one, you can only go one way, which I didn't find out until I started this walk and I was filling out the logbook. So I'm glad I decided to go this way. Could you imagine if I'd gone the other way around and I'd bumped into those, you know, the group of people that have paid all this money and they've got the guide with them, and the guide had been like, excuse me, but you actually can't walk this way around nature. That would have been me done. So I'm glad I came this way. That's where we've come from down there. It's really pretty through here. Breeze has picked up a little bit more exposed. So I've just come out of there, and this is the fork in the road. You keep going that way towards the campground I want to get to. That's where you come from if you're doing the 3 Cape walk that you've paid for hundreds of dollars with the hut experience. And that's where you continue on to Fortescue Bay. I did just bump into 2 ladies who seemed completely confused as to me sleeping in a tent. They seemed puzzled that I was allowed to do that. And then I explained, I was like, yeah, so you can camp and do the hike, but you don't get the experience of the huts. And we also can't go down that path there. And they were basically like, oh, just go for another K, there's a beautiful lookout. But no, I'm not allowed to. So the sign says do not proceed along this track. This area is part of the 3 Caps track experience. The 3 Capes track is to be walked in a west to east direction only. Apparently this is to enhance the protection of environmental values within the Tasman National Park by minimising the risk of root rot fungus spreading into threatened vegetation communities. Or is it because they have to justify charging people hundreds of dollars because they get a special walk that goes for about 20 Ks? Because really, other areas where, you know, there's a fear of root rot, they just make you scrub your boots on those little devices at the start of the trail, don't they? So I think we all know what that's about. They literally have that over there, and then we could all go that way. Sesame bar. But yeah, I nearly ripped my teeth out. Anyway, we're skirting around Tornado Ridge now, so we're not too far off from the campground. Nice and green through here. Let's see what we find down here and how many people there are. But we have a nice toilet block. Rainwater here as well. Okay, there's plenty of big platforms. There's a tent right on the last one. They're either still there or they're off doing the rest of the walk, so we won't go all the way out there. But there's plenty of platforms. It's probably about 8 there. I lied, there's more. There's probably like 10 of them. I like this one. Nothing that's going to fall on me here. How long did that take us? It took 2 hours and it was about 7.5 kilometers.
Home, sweet home. Home, sweet home.
So that's the tent all set up there. We did start to get a bit of a light shower. It's still, no, it looks like it's cleared over now. But one cool thing about this tent is you can actually set it up outer fly first and then get in and set up the inner fly, and it's actually really easy. Maybe I'll do a vid showing you that one day. Or maybe you'll just see me have to use it when it's hammering down rain. We are expecting some tomorrow. There we go, that's me sorted for the night. It's only 1:45 and I've got nowhere to be but here listening to that guy chirp. I'm going to enjoy a bit of quiet time, I think, and I'll come back to you when it's time to have a meal. Only makes sense to have a meal by Campers Pantry because they're made here in Tasmania. We're going the Indian chicken pilaf, and I'm actually going to chuck it on a wrap. Leave that for about 5-10 minutes. Yeah, that's good. A beer in bed? Absolutely. Cheers, and may all your dreams come true. Just casually holding this GoPro in the air, trying to look relaxed while I hold this GoPro in the air. YouTube. Alright, it's just going on 6 o'clock. Just going to finish watching a movie and go to bed. See you guys in the morning. Good morning, it's about 8:30 now. I just let myself have a bit of a lay-in because we're only going to cover about 14 or 15 Ks today in total, and that'll only take a few hours. And so it would have ended up much like yesterday, where you get back and it's lunchtime and you've got nothing to do for the rest of the day. So there's no rush this morning. I'll get up, have a slow brekkie, watch the birdies, and then we'll step off and go and see the high cliffs and the Tasman Island with the lighthouse. Okay, and we're headed off. And we're off towards Cape Pillar now. I think, judging by the map, it's probably going to be a similar distance to yesterday. The wind is also meant to be up a bit today compared to yesterday, but nothing too crazy. The time is 9:30 AM as well, and I'll start the tracker so we can see the exact distance. Another ripper of a day though in terms of blue skies and sunshine. As I was leaving my tent and heading towards the exit, there was another couple set up there on one of the platforms. And I was like, how you going? And the lady was like, oh, hello, good morning. And I see her partner and he's there just like sun in face, full meditation mode. Like, he didn't flinch, mate. He was deep in the matrix. He was plugged all the way in. Well, we didn't see an echidna yesterday. Maybe we'll have more luck today. I don't know what it is, but I'm feeling bloody zen on this trip. I don't know what it is. It's probably the good weather. Okay, we're coming up to Munro Hut, which is one of the huts that the people who pay all the money for stay in. You literally walk right through it. How bizarre. I wonder if I'm allowed to use this platform to look out. Oh my lord. Heavens above. What a day for it. Bloody hell. It's magnificent. Oh, it's so peaceful down there. We literally walked straight through this thing. That's so bizarre. I feel like I'm doing the wrong thing. What? Where do I go? I'm lost. Down here, I guess. That was really bloody strange. I wonder if this is... Oh my gosh, is that a sauna? Couldn't be. Think it'd be rude just to have a look. I'm not using it, but it looks like there's towel racks. No. Nah, that's just where they put their packs. Now I feel bad for opening the door. That's rude. I'm not nicking anything, I just thought it was a sauna. There's some parrots chirping their heads off around me. I wasn't quite quick enough with the phone to get him on video. Pretty though, isn't it, the sounds? Just backtracking for a second because I just noticed this pink tape. That pink tape, and then there's sort of an unmarked trail going up there. Just double checked on the map. So that place that we walked through back there, that's not Munro Hut or Munro Cabin, whatever they call it, where the people who pay stay. That's the Rangers' quarters. So yeah, that dirt track leads out to the Munro Hut, and I can only assume the trail on the map looks like it leads towards the cliff and the ocean, so they must have a pretty spectacular view out there. Looking pretty dramatic out there. My blood runs cold. What? Absolute madness down in there. So, as you can see, the walls are quite steep, and these are some of the steepest, actually I believe they're the steepest cliffs in the Southern Hemisphere. So not just Australia, but the Southern Hemisphere. And they get up to, I think, around the sort of 290 metre height. I believe on the island at the highest point, it's even Gets as high as 300 and something meters, 310 meters maybe. That's what I've read anyway. Sesame bar. Whoa, scene, what a scene. Oh, the wind is making this HAF and gel. So it was actually named after a Dutch seaman, as plenty of Tasmanians know, as Abel Tasman, who skirted around that island in 1642, I believe. They built the lighthouse in 1906, and I believe a lot of the parts, like the, whatever you'd call the lantern bulb part, and the panels and whatnot, were built in England and shipped here. And then they had to get them up this 250 meter high section of the cliff, and they used this like pulley system. It was crazy. I've seen footage of them using these pulley systems, which I believe they updated at some point throughout history, and they put the families who look after the lighthouse into this little, it looks like a crate that sits at the bottom of a hot air balloon, and then they pull that up, and it sort of like carts you up the side of the hill. It's not quite as steep, I don't know, something like that. It's nuts though. And then I think it started being automated where they didn't need families on there to run it in 1950s, 1960s. So anyway, we're heading out to Cape Pillar, which was that big pointy looking cliff bit, which is known as the Blade, where we'll get a good vantage point over the island. That's where we're headed. The echidna's been here. This is prime echidna territory too. Yeah, there's an echidna around here somewhere. I bet you will see this echidna on the last day. They've had several storms that I believe caused damage on the island to the housing and maybe the lighthouse. Probably not the lighthouse, but definitely the structures that help the people stay for long periods of time up there. But I believe the worst was in 1919, where it actually caused damage to the main house where the family were occupying it, and it completely shifted another building outside, blew away like fencing and stuff like that. Imagine that, you're just having a snooze and all of a sudden your roof's just lopped over the edge of that cliff, and you in your bed like the Wizard of Oz, you're just floating around the sky, and then you just land in the ocean. That must have been hell for him. 1.2 kilometers wide that plateau is. Believe it or not, they actually found an Aboriginal skull in 1911 up on that plateau. And it's now in the Tasman Museum, so it's legit. The Indigenous used to go over there in their wooden, or in their bark canoes I should say, and hunt the fur seals and penguins, which you can see down here still to this day. Imagine them scaling up that thing, and we come and build a bloody crane. Just for anyone curious, it looks like there's a tent platform here, but it's actually a helipad. There's a sign a few meters back there, but there's not one on here, so just don't set up your tent there, because you could get helicopter coming and just absolutely pancaking you in the middle of the morning. This thing's bloody crawling with human beings. I can see them from down here. Some coming down, some going up. Ah, mate, we're gonna plummet into darkness mentally here, I tell ya. Grace calls them ants when you see them just crawling all over the main attractions. All through the car parks, just ants. Seal spa. Must be some around here where the seals hang out, maybe over on that rock. I feel like I can see one. Yeah, I reckon that's a seal down there. See that black little splurge there? The only other thing it could be, because it's very prominent, is maybe a big slab of seaweed, but I reckon it's a seal. That's where we're headed up to, where all those people are headed up to. Awesome, can't wait. Anyway, let's go join the ants. I'm just going to give them a moment. I don't want to interrupt whatever the guide's saying to them up there. How long do I wait, you reckon? Probably not long. Let's go. It's not my fault they paid money. hectic warning here saying end of track. Beyond this point, the route to the summit of the blade exposes you to severe hazards. This means you are not protected from natural hazards such as cliffs, strong winds. The route must be used with extreme caution. It is only suitable for experienced visitors fully prepared to face and meet all challenges. You must be properly prepared to meet those hazards on their own terms. This is your responsibility. Isn't that just... What do you mean it's your responsibility? Isn't that just life? Isn't that you climb on top of a cliff with strong winds? That's life, isn't it? You're acting like I've signed some agreement when I came out of my mother's womb saying thou shalt not, you know, do silly stuff. I think we'll just drop the pack here. Less wind resistance. I want to be more aerodynamic. Kept bum bag on though. That's got SOS device and lip balm. Burt's Bees lip balm. Honey and peppermint. Bit awkward. There's a bit of a group meeting going on up here. There's the living quarters. There might be an outhouse. There's more living quarters up near the lighthouse there. 29 meters high is the lighthouse. And that down there is where they had the pulley system going up to that point there in the center of screen. Wild. Bloody hell, mate. Wow. That's gnarly. It feels silly being here, but apparently that's what they were doing. Not my rules. We've done it again. Anyway, let's get back to camp, shall we? Got some storms a-brewing. Just for a data update, for some numbers, but it was about 9.5 k's. 9.5 k's right to the very end, and it took me about 2.5 hours. Bit of a light drizzle just started. Nothing bad at all. See if it passes. Beautiful sun shower going on here. Let's cut this walk short to the campground. I'm at camp now. Just like that. And I was here. Well, that was a bloody nice day. Some pretty specky views. And more tomorrow. We ended up covering, let's stop the clock, 18.5 k's, and it took us about 3 hours and 40 minutes, and that was going to all the little nooks and crannies to the lookouts. Now, going to enjoy a beer and maybe listen to some music. No, first I'm going to listen to the sounds of the birds. And look forward to tomorrow's swim. Cheers. I'm just here trying to chill out. I was nearly in nap town. Now these bloody gale force winds are coming through. The wind is absolutely pummeling. It must be at least 60, maybe even 70 km/h winds. They're not hitting the tent directly, they're just like passing straight over the top. You can hear it going through all the trees. Good morning, good morning. That was a sleepless one. The wind was just blowing the whole night, just tearing through the trees. Wasn't really hitting the tent too much. It was just sort of gliding straight over the top of it. But it was powerful. It was pretty cool, but yeah, just didn't get much sleep just because of the noise. Anyway, let's get up, get on the move. Started the watch, so let's get some figures. People love figures. Now make sure you do stick around till the end of this one, because the campground that I'm going to stay in tonight at Fortescue Bay, it's really beautiful. It's something special, and hopefully the sun's still out. It should be when we get to the ocean, because it is beautiful there when the sun is piercing through that water. It's like crystal clear. So jump in for a swim. But also there's the cutest Bennett's wallabies hanging around the campground. A little bit cheeky too. But also, while we're on this walk, let's see if we can spot an echidna today. I'm feeling lucky. And there looms Mount Fortescue. Okay, walking through another cabin area. So it looks like they're either upgrading in there, or that's a whole new building, some workers in there. Beautiful little lookout. There's a helipad there for if anybody injures themselves in one of the lodges. Tell you what, if I was a tradie, that's the bloody contract I'd want. Just been left alone out in the bush to build a lodge. Okay, we've just entered the forest at the base of the mountain now. Yeah, it's relatively steep, a lot of steps and stuff going on. Nothing too wild. Glad I had a stretch though. Looking very enchanted up through here. Forests. Alright, we've started to head downhill now. Pretty patch of forest here. Some of these guys would be old as. Some of them are massive. Some of them are absolutely massive. Yeah, I wonder how old these boys and girls are. Huge. Wow. Through that. Look out, Game of Thrones. What do we have here? Big metal chair, but no campground. But we will pop in a big metal chair so you can sit here and look at that. It is very cold on my back. Bring me more wine, peasant! You there, do me a dance. Bring me her. And her friend. Something sinister, I would say, like this, in this position. What's that bloke doing? He's what? No, I don't like that. Cut off his head. You there, what is your name? Not anymore. You're Tim now. Hey, I believe that when we get around here a little bit further, we should be able to see a cliff cave tucked in somewhere down here. So we'll keep going for a little bit. Yeah, okay, this is probably the lookout down to the cliff cave. Ah, there's the cave on the other side of the arch, going that way. Yeah, so the sea cave is there. So there's a couple little sea caves. That's the other one that we saw, with its own little beach. Pretty cool. There we go, more sign of echidna. I mean, it could be wallaby too, but I just feel like every time I see these little diggings, there's been an echidna in the area, whether you get to see him or just hear him. So, keep the eyes peeled. We did it. We overtook. We lapped him, pretty much. Sunny weather, mate. Sun's out, bun's out. There he is. There we go. We saw our echidna. Ah, nature baby. Come get some. That's so cool. Cape Hoy. Cape Hoy. I've just seen a couple of white spurts coming up out of the water, which I thought were whales. They're quite large. Yeah, I'm certain it was whales. It was too perfect. It was like a full right up into the air and then it sort of floated away. And a white cap just wouldn't do that. I just passed these two people and they said, yeah, they saw whales, but they didn't see them at the point where we're headed now. They actually saw them back where I thought I'd seen them. So that confirms it. There's whales. So hopefully we see them on the way back. That would be bloody awesome. Windy coming down here. That's where we'll camp, tucked in around to the left there. Whoa. It's blowing absolute gale. Very dramatic landscape, isn't it? So that skinny one in the middle there is called the candlestick, or that might be the totem pole and that's the candlestick. I'm not sure, mate. And then the lanterns. Yep. Be nice to be in out of this wind. So I was about 10.5 k's out to the point from the campground I stayed at. Okay, keeping my eyes out for whales now. I'm trying my luck again to spot the whales, but I'm not having any luck here. Oh, yep, I saw one. He's right out towards the Cathedral Rock. There he goes again. Yeah, there he goes. Catch ya. Now, let's go. So, just seen another one. Massive one. He looks like a big fella. Anyway, you've seen it as whales here. What do you know, I'm getting welcomed into the bay with the rain and overcast skies. The one place I was like, hopefully we pull in with some sunshine, you can see how beautiful the water is and I'll go for a swim. It's alright, it's quite refreshing actually now that it's dropped it. It was starting to get a little bit humid. This anorak by Alton is actually really good because it's got the zips up under the armpits, which another one of my jackets has that's not waterproof, but it allows you to keep walking and keep on the move and not overheat and sweat it out because you're ventilating pretty much the main spot where you're getting really, really hot. And instead of that heat getting generated and just staying inside the waterproof shell, it's allowed to go out so you can keep moving without getting too sweaty. Oh, what do you know? Fortescue Bay. Yeah, beautiful sunny Fortescue Bay. Aqua blue waters. Obviously camped over there. It's over there enjoying the sunshine. We've got a kookaburra up here. I think these lads behind me are going for a dip. Bloody hell. Stunning. There you go. How's it going? Good, mate. with me soon. So we're actually gonna camp up behind the dunes there. I just want to go take a look at something that Grace and I saw when we were here last. Good on them. It is, look how flat it is though. Unbelievable. Fortescue Bay. I mean, it looks this good when it's overcast and rainy. You can only imagine what it looks like when it's sunny, eh? Not gonna lie, I was hoping the skull would still be there and it may have decomposed the skin off it by the time I saw it this time around a bit. Oh, I see the skull. Someone's tried to take it up there. Mate. Couple of fangs on it, couple of fangs. Imagine that, just like wedged on the front of the troopy bull bar. When you pull up in camps, people are like, oh, is that like a cow or something, or a bull? And you're like, nah, that's a seal skull. They'd probably think you were absolutely demented, wouldn't they? Anyway, we'll leave this here. We're just gonna leave this here, we're not taking it home. Anyway, there's a break in the rain, so what we might do is we'll set up camp now. I'll go fill out that logbook. Then we'll come down for a swim. That way it's all set up when we go back. Okay, we're all set up there with the Telos TR2. Fire pit if we want it. I've just signed off on the log to let them know I'm alive. By the way, today we travelled 16 kilometres in total and took us about 4.5 hours. Figures. All right, let's go. Okay, here we go. I felt really good about it when I was warm, not anymore. Wait.
Free, flowing, sailing with the wind.
It's always good. It's always good once you're in though, isn't it?
Knowing how this story ends, kind and brave, I know you'll find a way. Live your truth, and good will come to you.
Done it again. Okay, we're all nice and dry now. We're going to have a hot coffee. Have a hot coffee and just chill out, I think. I thought I've only got one more coffee I'll have to make tomorrow morning, so I went ham this morning and I put in heaps. But now I really want one now. So I'm gonna have like a real pissy one tomorrow. Well, I won't, that's too hot, I won't drink it now for the shot. No. Oh, I just missed that, I just had a visitor. Just sitting here, just watching some Tassie boys prospecting on YouTube. Hear a bit of bustling going on, turn on my light. Greg the possum's right there, and I've got the door wide open, so wonder if he took anything. Anyway, I'll see you lot in the morning. Let's see how long it takes for our little furry friends to rock up after I start making some brekkie. Not long, I bet. Hey dude. Hey dude. So I'm just waiting for the water to boil and I'm looking at my boots and I'm thinking, oh, they're pretty worn at the back of the heel there. And I'm like, what would have caused that? I'm like, is it the gators rubbing against them? And then I realise, I'm like, bloody Greg the bloody possum's been chewing my boots. You can tell because it's like, it's a circle. It's not like it's worn from the inside out. It's actually from the outside in. Bloody Greg, mate. Bloody possums, mate. Absolute mischief makers. Fortunately enough, the weather past during the night, so you get to see the bay with some sunlight. And isn't it magnificent? Not bad, hey? Not bad. Look at that awesome, massive eucalypt forest. Look at that, mate. Absolutely pristine. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. That's absolute snorkeler's paradise there. Absolute snorkeler paradise. Bloody assaulted by seagulls. First they went that Pacific gull, then they started going me. I'll probably go those kids too. Bloody hell, they're full going right up in the air and then dive bombing him like a couple of zeros out of... It's like bloody Pearl Harbor over there. Lucky they didn't come for round 3 or I would have absolutely destroyed their family tree. I would have ended their bloodline. Guess what? I've just been rescued. And she's got something going on up here. she's made another sign for me. Oh no, it's the same one. Everybody relax, it's the same sign. Welcome back, Swaggy. That's Grace, by the way, she is real. We got some Scrabble. more flowers coming. She's a bloody sweetheart. She's mute, she doesn't talk. But what's in the basket? Oh, couple of freshies. Oh, some fruit. Some bloody chopped up fruit here. Oh, what's in this box? Oh, damn, that looks so good. Oh, I'm just picturing all the blokes sitting next to their wives watching this right now, going, next time I come back from a fishing trip, that's the standard there. Thanks, Matsy, appreciate it, brother. You're welcome. Anyway, catch you on the next one.
Home, sweet home.